Ever since I was a little kid, I've always been scared of scary movies. Whether it be from It and my fear of clowns, or Coraline and the disturbing animation in that. But hopefully in today's video, I will get over that fear, because I will be making scary movies out of Lego. Also because Halloween's around the corner, so without further ado, Lego. Now the first build we'll be doing is of Leatherface, otherwise known as Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I know, starting with an intense one. Main things I wanted to capture here is definitely Leatherface as a minifigure, since obviously that doesn't exist in Lego. And then also this cool wheat field technique that I've seen in a few Lego builds. So let's get building. And well, here it is. Let's start with the minifigures. Leatherface looks really cool, especially with this big chainsaw. I used the scarecrow face actually, and I think it looks pretty nice. This is the back of him. I added the blue arms to make it a little more accurate. And then if you take off his chainsaw, that's what the front of his print looks like. Onto the second guy, I just made it a civilian that's running away screaming from him. He's wearing this nice suit, nice little 360 here. But yeah, let's get to the build. Here it is. I set it on, like I said, a little farmhouse with a wheat field. Now, the cool technique I used here, as you can see, is where I pointed these Technic bricks sideways, put in a whole bunch of little tan Technic pins, and then you can just plop it right in place, and it looks pretty good. Now, here's the interior of the house. Nothing that crazy. You got the shovel, a few things in a bin, and then the bed. Overall, I kind of really like this build. It's one of my favorites in this video, but let's go on to the next build. But before we do that, actually, let's clear off the rest of this table, because hopefully by the end of this video, this whole thing can look like a Halloween village. Stay tuned for that. On to the second build, Nightmare Before Christmas. Definitely not as scary as the last one. And also, Lego just made a set for this movie, as you can see up on screen, and I'll be trying to capture that iconic hill. So let's get building. And well, here it is. Now, the hill was a little hard to make, but Jack Skellington looks pretty solid. That's because it's the one from the Disney CMF. Here's also a 360 of that. His printing looks pretty good, and he also comes with this cool little bin. But yeah, the hill is simple on both sides, and I also added some pumpkins for the nice scenery. Definitely one of the most simple builds of the video, but I thought this one had to be made, and I like it. Let's add it to the village. On to the third build. Now this one is another intense, scary movie, and that is Saw. For this build, I was going to try to make one of the most iconic traps, which is like the reverse bear trap, because of this new piece that just came out in a Lego Star Wars set. So, let's get building. And well, here it is. It definitely turned out pretty good. Now let's get to the minifigures. So first off, I got this girl here with the trap on. I also added these studs around her hands to maybe look like handcuffs. And some of you might be saying, why is she bald? Well, that's because the hairpiece doesn't fit on the trap. But besides her, we also have the main evil guy from Saw that's responsible for all the traps. Here's a cool feature I made with the door. But back to the build. Some of you might be wondering, where's the actual jigsaw guy? And well, technically in this scene, he was just on the TV, so that's what I made. I made his face on the TV, and in my personal parts collection, I couldn't find a perfect face to replicate it, so this is the best I could do, but I still think the hair works, and it's good enough. Overall, I like this build, especially because of the trapdoor and the minifigures. Now let's add it to the village, and moving on to the fourth build. That being Chucky. Chucky is a classic horror movie and a lot of people's favorite one, so I had to do this one justice. Starting off with the minifigures here, we got Chucky, of course. In my opinion, he turned out the best out of almost any of the minifigures. I gave him mid legs, and also, funny enough, his sweater comes from a Sesame Street character, so that's a bit ironic. But besides his two faces he has, I also made this other version from later movies where he has like a burnt up face. This one definitely looks more creepy, but it's cool that you have both options there. Then I also made the mom. This minifigure is pretty simple, but onto the build. The build here I'm pretty proud of. It's just honestly a living room. I used a lot of cool techniques for the shelf with putting some of these tile plates sideways, and then there's a couch there as well, and this cool little lamp that uses a Minecraft head actually. Then just set the minifigures up and you got a pretty cool scene from the movie Chucky. Added to the village. And moving on to the 5th build of the video. Now before we get into this 5th build, remember, stay till the end to see the whole village, but also I'm going to be adding an extra build to the final movie. Stay tuned for that because it's the biggest build of the video and it's pretty epic. But the 5th movie is It. I'm sure many of you have been waiting for this. It's probably the most iconic movie in this video, but let's get building. And well, here it is. Of course, we're going to start with the minifigures, that being Georgie. Here he is in his whole yellow poncho. Probably one of my most accurate ones of this video. And then also we got Pennywise. I did decide between a few hairstyles because he has pretty wacky hair, so here were those ones. But I kept this one at the end of the day, gave him the Joker face. I think he turned out alright for what LEGO offers minifig wise. And yeah, here's the actual build. You might be wondering, why is the build so high up if it's just like supposed to be the road and the sewer? But that's because I also added where you can see inside the sewer where there's a balloon, a stream of water, and then of course that's where Pennywise is. And well, oh snap, there goes Georgie's arm. That is sad, but let's add that one to the village. And moving on to the 6th build. This one being Nightmare on Elm Street. This one I was really excited about because the Freddy Krueger minifigure looks really solid in my opinion. But let's get building. And here are the minifigures, starting off with Freddy Krueger. I gave him this nice Christmas sweater because that fits the red and green scheme of his sweater. And then the face print actually and hat combo really tied this thing all together. I think this one looks really solid. The other minifigure I added is just a screaming kid. But the scene I recreated was when Freddy Krueger was like falling from the ceiling and it looked like the bed and him was on fire, so that's what I did. Sorry if I don't know too much about it, but I think it looks pretty cool and pretty accurate to the scene I saw on YouTube. Yeah, this one looks pretty solid, and let's add it to the village. To the final build of the video, and that being from The Shining. More specifically, the Here's Johnny scene.
Here's Johnny!
This one is probably one of the most iconic ones in film. And like I said earlier, there will be an extra build, so stay till the end. But let's get building. Now at first glance, this looks like not much, but before we get to that, let's get to the minifigures. Johnny right here with his axe and super angry face. He does have another face, but I chose to go with this one because it's more accurate to the scene. And then his wife that I gave her like this blue nightgown type thing that looks accurate to the scene. And then of course a screaming face with knife because she's scared for her life. Now add them back into the scene and well, here it is, recreated in LEGO. But I did add a variant of Johnny. Here that one is. And if you've ever seen The Shining, you might know how it ends. He goes into this big maze and freezes to death. So here's that maze. Yeah, pretty simple build here. Just a whole bunch of blocks on a base plate. But I thought it'd be cool to add this part. And well, that is all the scary movies I made out of LEGO. Here it is all in the Halloween village. I think it looks pretty solid, guys. You guys can tell me in the comments below which your favorite build was. But anyways, whoa. Did you guys hear that? What was that? Oh, it was just Bob. Wow, good one. Comment, Bob is always watching, if you made it to this point. Just confuse the other guys if they didn't watch this far. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe, and if you want another holiday one, since Halloween is just about to pass, go watch my Christmas video where I make famous Christmas movies out of Lego. It's pretty solid and, in my opinion, a banger. Alright, well, see you guys next time. God bless, and peace out. Bye.